So basically, your emulsions are biophysics preparations. Biophysics means it consists of two phases. When we are taking the two liquids and we are mixing them, but that both the phases are not miscible with each other and they are always remaining separate. For example, suppose you have taken the oil as well as the water, both are liquid, and you have mixed them, but your oil as well as water will be remain separated from each other. So that's why we can see oil phase as well as the water phase. So here it is called as the two phases. So emulsions are again the types of disperse phase or the disperse system. It means we are dispersing or adding one phase into the another phase. Suppose you have taken the 100 ml of water and you have added the 10 ml of oil. It means you have added oil into the water. So by this way we are dispersing oil into the water. Or suppose you have taken 100 ml of oil and you have taken the 25 ml of water and you have added that water into the oil. It means you have dispersed water into the oil. So this is called as the dispersion of one phase into the another phase. That's why suspension and emulsion both are called as the types of disperse system, or these are the disperse type of dosage forms or biophasic dosage forms. So today we'll see regarding the introduction, types of emulsion, classification, and additives. Now, what is meant by the dispersion system? So last time we have seen regarding the suspension. So it is the two-phase system in which finely divided solid particles are dispersed in a continuous phase of the liquid. That is called as the suspension. So in suspension, we are adding the drugs or the insoluble drug particles are called as the solids into the liquid. But in the emulsion, we are taking the both phases liquid. So in the emulsion, we can say it is the dispersion in which the dispersed phase is composed of small globules of the liquid, which are distributed throughout a vehicle in which it is immiscible. It means in the emulsion, we are dispersing a liquid into the another liquid. So both the phases are liquid. That's why it is called as the emulsion. So the basic difference between the emulsion and suspension is that in the suspension, we are adding the solid particle or we are adding the insoluble drug particle into the liquid. And in the emulsion, we are adding the liquid into the another liquid. So it is the both dosage forms are dispersed one, but the basic difference is that in suspension, we are adding the solid, and in the emulsion, we are adding the liquid into the liquid. See here, this is the such type of one emulsion. This is also one type of emulsion. You can see the figure A, B, C, and D. Suppose you have taken the one liquid like blue color, suppose it is water, and you have added the another liquid, that is suppose you have added the oil. Suppose you are added this oil and these are dispersed or distributed inside the water in the form of globule, then it is called as the ideal type of emulsion. Sometimes it might be possible that your one phase may remain at the surface like this figure 1a. Suppose we have added the oil into the water. Suppose take the example that this blue color is water and this orange color is or yellow color is your oil. And sometime what will happen, it is maybe possible that both the phases may be separated from each other, one separate phase and another separate phase. But this is not a good emulsion or the ideal emulsion. It is called as the breaked emulsion, or it is not useful emulsion. But suppose see the figure D. Suppose we have seen that we have added the oil and it is distributed throughout the your water phase in the form of globules, as like as your milk. So this is called as the ideal or the good emulsion. So such a type of appearance should be there for the emulsion, that when you are adding the another phase or another liquid into the first liquid, then it should be distributed in this manner. This is called as the, we can say, ideal emulsion or the best emulsion. Now, how can we define an emulsion? So thermodynamically, unstable system consisting of two immiscible liquid phases, one of which is dispersed as a globule in the other liquid phase. This emulsion is always stabilized by the help of emulsifying agent. Or you can say again, we can define your emulsion. Your emulsion is an dispersion in which the dispersed phase is composed of small globules. Means the dispersed phase is your globules we have added from upper side, that is called as the small globules you have added, or the phase which is you have added, it is distributed in the form of globules, and these globules are distributed throughout the vehicle. Vehicle means the previous liquid which we have taken in the your beaker. So emulsion is a dispersion in which the dispersed phase is composed of small globules of a liquid distributed throughout a vehicle in which it is immiscible. So another thing we should keep in your mind, that whatever the two liquids you are taking, that both the liquids should not be miscible with each other. Like we have to take oil and water, it means they are not miscible with each other. So this is called as an emulsion. Now when you have prepared the suppose emulsion, suppose you have taken the 100 ml of water and 25 ml of oil you have added, then your first vehicle or the first phase is, suppose your water you have taken already in the beaker and you have added the oil, 25 ml or 30 ml oil you have added, then that oil will be distributed throughout the your first phase in the form of small globules. So the water will act as a continuous phase because we have taken it previously in the large quantity and we have added the oil in the small quantity. So that oil will be distributed inside your water in the form of globules. So that globules is called as dispersed phase or the continuous phase. So this is the also called as the internal phase, and the water will called as the external phase. So these are the synonyms or the different names are there. This water will be called as continuous phase or the external phase. Water will be called as continuous phase or the external phase, and the your oil will be called as the internal phase or the discontinuous phase. So this is called as an emulsion. Now the types of your emulsion, how can we classify your emulsion? Emulsion are having the basically two types. First is the oil in water emulsion. Another one is the water in oil emulsion. Now oil in water emulsion means what? When we are taking the small quantity of oil and we are adding it into the large quantity of water, then it is called as oil in water. Means we are distributing oil inside the water. Here water will be in the large quantity and it will act as a external phase, and oil will be in the small quantity, that's why it will act as the internal phase. Then another type is the vice versa, that is water in oil emulsion, that is called as shortly WO emulsion, water in oil. Suppose you have taken the small quantity of water and large quantity of oil. Suppose you have taken 100 ml of oil and you have added the 25 ml of water. So your water will be distributed in the form of globule inside the oil. So here your water will act as the internal phase and oil will act as the external phase. So these are the two types of emulsion depending on the type of your dispersed phase. On the basis of type of dispersed phase means which phase you have added or which phase is your internal phase. So suppose you have taken the oil in water means your oil will be as an internal phase, and suppose you are taking water in oil means water will be act as an internal phase. So this is classification of your emulsion on the basis of dispersed phase. Now another classification of emulsion is the depending on the size of globules. Suppose we are saying that your internal phase will be distributed in the form of globules. Then depending on the size of that globules, also we can categorize your emulsion in the different types. Suppose you have added any one phase and it is distributed into your external phase. So the whatever the globules are produced, that globule size may be from 0.2 to 50 millimeter. So such kind of emulsion in which the globule size is ranges from 0.2 to 50 millimeter, then such kind of suspension is called as kinetically stable emulsion or macro emulsion. This is called as kinetically stable emulsion or macro emulsion. Then another type of emulsion is that when the globule size is from 0.01 to 0.2 mm size, 0.001 to 0.2 millimeter size. So this kind of emulsion is called as the micro emulsion. This is called as micro emulsion, or it is also called as thermodynamically stable emulsion. Thermodynamically stable emulsion. So depending on the globule size, we can have the two types, that is macro emulsion and micro emulsion. Macro means larger size particle and micro means smaller size particle. So this is the classification of your emulsion. Then another type of emulsion or the classification is that is the simple emulsion or the macro emulsion. In the simple emulsion, we can say water in oil emulsion and oil in water emulsion. Then multiple emulsion is also there. Now what is meant by multiple emulsion? Multiple emulsion means when you are preparing the three phases into your emulsion, that is called as the multiple emulsion. As you know, the oil in water or water in oil. Suppose we have created again third phase, that is oil into the water and into the oil, WOW or OWO. So that is called as the multiple emulsion. Oil in water in oil or water in oil in water, that is called as the multiple emulsion. Then nano emulsion is there, that is called as the micro emulsion, where the size of droplets is very small in the nano range, that is called as the micro emulsion. So these are the simple emulsion, multiple emulsion and micro emulsion. These are the again three types of your emulsion. Now the different forms of your emulsion in the market or in the form of your products. Now we can prepare the lotions from your emulsion. We can prepare the liniments from your emulsion. We can prepare the creams from your emulsion. We can prepare the ointment also from your emulsion, as well as we can prepare the vitamin drops of the emulsion. So these are the generally different forms of your emulsion available in the market. Lotions, everybody have seen. Liniments, very rarely you have seen. Creams, most of people know about the creams. So what are the basically creams? Creams are viscous preparations which are applied on your skin. But basically creams are nothing but your emulsion. In the creams, we are preparing creams by using the oil plus water. Then ointments also many people have seen. Ointments are also thick preparation or the viscous preparation which are applied on your skin. So in the ointment, we are preparing the ointments by using oil plus water. So they are a little bit thick than your creams. Liniments are also same. They are having the near about cream-like structure. They are applied on the skin or the affected part. Lotions are also many people have seen. They are applied on the skin for the top treatment purpose or for any problem purpose. Then vitamin drops are there for the child purpose in the form of emulsion. So here basic form is emulsion, that is oil plus water, but we can convert them into the lotion type, liniment types, creams, ointments, as well as the vitamins. Now, what are the methods by which we can prepare your emulsion? So emulsion can be prepared by using the three methods. Basically, three methods are there, and then by using the instruments we can prepare the also emulsion, that is the in the large scale industries. So for the preparation of emulsion, first of all we require oil plus water, and to stabilize that emulsion or to become stable emulsion, we have to add the emulsifying agent. So what is that emulsifying agent? This emulsifying agent is also called as the surface active agent. So this surfactant or the surface active agents is having the ability to stabilize your preparation. That's why we have to add it into your emulsion. So that is called as the surface acting agent or emulsifying agent. Without emulsifying agent, suppose you are trying to mix oil plus water, then you cannot prepare the successful emulsion, because if you have added the oil plus water and you try to prepare the emulsion, then what will happen? After some time, your oil phase will be separated and water phase will be the separated. So no globules will be formed inside your emulsion. If you are not adding the emulsifying agent, then you cannot prepare the emulsion. What will happen if you are not adding the emulsifying agent? If you are trying to prepare the emulsion without emulsifying agent, then your water phase will be separated as well as oil phase will also be separated. You will find that upper phase will be the oil phase and lower phase will be the water phase. So it means we can say, if you want to prepare the stable emulsion, if you want to prepare the globules of internal phase, then we have to add the emulsifying agent. Then only your internal phase will be present in the form of globules inside your emulsion. Then and until globules will not form, you cannot say you have prepared the emulsion. So this is called as the ideal emulsion, when the globules are formed and that globules are distributed throughout the one phase. So here we can use the gums. Acacia gum is there, Tragacanth gum is there. So these are the routine examples, that is the gums, you know, acacia is there. So these gums can be utilized as a emulsifying agent for the preparation of emulsion. Now, when you want to prepare the emulsion, so basically we require the oil, we require the water and emulsifying agent. So generally we are preparing the emulsion in our laboratory by using the mortar and pestle. So everybody might have idea about the mortar and pestle. So here, when we want to prepare the emulsion, we require oil, water and emulsifying agent. So emulsifying agent examples I have told, that is acacia gum or Tragacanth gum can be utilized. So these are the three methods of your emulsion, preparation of emulsion, that is the dry gum method, wet gum method, bottle method, and at industry level we can use the any kind of instrument for the preparation of emulsion. Now what is the first method? That is called as the dry gum method. So on the basis of sequence of addition of material, they have classified three methods. Suppose while preparation of your emulsion, we have taken first of all oil, and then we have added the gum, that is the acacia powder or the tragacan powder, that is gum, and we have mixed it properly, and then we have added the water. So here we have taken firstly oil, then we have taken the gum, and we have taken the lastly water. So here this method is called as the dry gum method. Why it is called a dry gum method? Because initially you are taking the oil, and then you are taking the gum, and then after that you are taking the water. So here water is taking lastly, that's why it is called as the dry gum method. Next method is called as the wet gum method. In the wet gum method, first of all you have to take the water, then we have to add the gum, and then we have to mix it, water plus gum. Then lastly we have to add the oil. So this is called as the wet gum method. Why it is called as wet gum method? Because first of all we are taking water and we are mixing it with the gum. Generally gum is getting wetted by your water. When it is added into the water, it will become wet. So that's why it is called as the wet gum method. So in the both method, we have to think in our mind that which things we are taking the first. If you are taking oil first, then it is called a dry gum method. If when you are taking water first, then it is called as the wet gum method. Then another thing is the bottle method. In the bottle method, we have taking all the ingredient at once, oil, gum and water, and we are mixing it very vigorously by shaking your bottle. So when we are using the bottle for mixing all those things, instead of mortar and pestle, if you are taking the any bottle and in that bottle you have added the gum plus water and oil, and you have shaken that total three mixture, then what will happen? It is called as the Forbes bottle method, preparation of the emulsion. Then another method is the auxiliary method is there. Auxiliary method means we are taking any kind of instrument for the preparation of your emulsion. There are so many instruments are available nowadays for the preparation of emulsion. In the emulsion, simply we have to mix both those things, that is the oil, water and gum, we have to mix thoroughly. Suppose you have taken any hand homogenizer, there is the one branded homogenizer in available, that is the Silverson mixer is there, Silverson homogenizer. In this method, we have to take your oil plus water and gum, and we have to add it into the homogenizer equipment or the instrument, and then we have to start that instrument. Then after some time, it will mix your water plus oil and gum, and you will get the emulsion. So these are the three methods, four methods basically: dry gum method, wet gum method, bottle method and auxiliary method. So these four methods we are using for the preparation of your emulsion. Now, proportion of your oil, gum and water. Proportion means what? That how much amount of water and how much amount of gum you will take. How much amount of oil, how much amount of gum and water you will utilize. Generally, when you are preparing the emulsion, then we have to take the 2 part of oil, 2 parts of water and 1 part of the gum for the preparation of the emulsion. So this is the routine formula, that equal amount of water and oil we have to take and 1 part of the gum. Now, sometimes depending on your type of oil, proportion may be changed. Suppose you want to use the fixed oil, like castor oil is there, almond oil is there, arachis oil is there, cod liver oil is there. Suppose you want to utilize this fixed oil. This is the category of fixed oil: castor oil, almond oil, and arachis oil. So in this case, we have to take the 4 parts of oil, then 2 parts of the water, and 1 part of the gum. So this is the proportion for the oil, water, and gum in case of when we are using the fixed oil. Then another oil is there that is called as the volatile oil. So everybody know about the volatile oils. Example is turpentine oil, peppermint oil, cinnamon oil, clove oil. Basically, these are the volatile oils. Generally, they get evaporated when they are exposing to the environment, or they are having the specific type of smell also. So here, when you are using the volatile oil, then you have to take the 2 part of oil and 2 part of water and 1 part of the gum. So this is the proportion for volatile oil. 2:2:1. Then if you want to use the mineral oil, so in case of mineral oil, we can take the example that is the liquid paraffin. So liquid paraffin is also type of mineral oil. When you are using the mineral oil, then you have to take the proportion of oil is the